Time to get real, friends, about how I truly feel about Bucerias. Someone who promotes real estate, that's probably not the best thing to say, but honestly, I think with this viewpoint just about 2 blocks away from the development. In today's video, friends, we are going to Bucerias Nayarit. We are checking out the east part of Bucerias. I will share with you an incredible opportunity of development. And then we're going to go to Centro, beach part, beachfront restaurants, all of the fun things that Bucerias has to offer. And we're going to just talk about Bucerias. We're going to walk around Bucerias. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I love about it and some of the things that I don't love about it. So if you are curious about Bucerias Nayarit, if you're thinking of investing here and want to hear my opinion about it, make sure to watch until the very end. Friends, coming to you from Bucerías East. Today we're checking out a development that has already broken the ground. It's called Luke. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It is right behind me. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes, starting at $199,000 before the discount. This area is perfect for someone who loves authentic Mexico, who wants to be close to everything Bucerias has to offer, yet tucked away in a super quiet and friendly neighborhood. Let's take a look at the area. Let's look at the potential. Who is this area for? If we haven't met before, my name is Elena, and I am a former realtor from Vancouver, Canada, who's been living and investing in the Bay of Banderas since 2021. I own 3 properties here, so a small mom and pop investor. And what I do is I share the learning curves, the tips and the tricks to help you make your purchase here in the Bay of Banderas, your real estate purchase here, a successful one. And that's what this channel is all about. Today we are in Bucerias East, and if you know Bucerias, we are directly across from the main street that leads you to the Bucerias sign, up on the hill with this gorgeous view, and we are going to be checking out a development here. And before we do, I wanted to share with you this listing that popped up just a few months ago right next to this new development, and it got pending at 1.2 million US in a fairly short time for our real estate market here in the Bay. So I was very curious to check out this area and talk about this development that's located right next to this beautiful listing. The area is very walkable, so in my view, you really don't need a vehicle if you choose to live here. There are small stores nearby, walking distance, Centro right behind us. You need to be okay with taking small hills. I mean, there are some very steep hills in the area, but the development itself is sitting not at the very bottom of the hill where you have to go all the way up. There are 2 ways to get here. So you could, technically, if you want to have a workout, you could go and take the steep hill, but you could also go around on the north part, and there is almost no hill there, which is one of the things why I love Vallarta and Bucerias. Yes, there are hills, so you get to enjoy the beautiful views, but there's usually a way around the hill where you don't have to hike it every time if you don't want to. But again, this area is for someone who is who likes to walk, who isn't afraid of a hill, and who wants to enjoy the beautiful views at a fraction of the price for a condo that you'd be paying just 2-minute walk west of the highway. This is the street leading up to the development. And now let me show you some renders, and let's talk about the prices for these units and the developer. So this is the render of the outside. It is a small boutique development, and a lot of units are already sold. At the time of the making of the video, there are only 5 units available. So this development is more than 50% sold out. The development is on MLS, meaning that all of the permits should be in place. Just a note here, you guys, I don't represent the developers. I'm simply sharing these opportunities with you. And I always remind you to do your own due diligence and work with trusted real estate professionals who will protect your interests, not the developer's interests. So if you need a referral of a real estate agent that I work with, just send me an email at the email address provided in the description below, and I will be happy to share the contact with you. With that said, this developer has history in the Bay. This is not their first project. They have done successful projects in the past. I really love the finishes on these renderings. I think the location is so great. Your views here are going to be fantastic. So let's take a look at the remaining units. They're all the same size, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, just over 1,000 square feet, 1,053 square feet to be exact. And currently the best price unit is listed at 177,800 USD after the highest discount. In my view, this is a development that's great for someone who's going to retire here and loves the area, or for someone who is considering renting long-term before they retire here. I don't believe this is a great location for short-term rentals. By the way, if you want to learn more about why I think so, there is a free training in the description below that you can check out that actually goes into a lot of details of how one can purchase a property here. It's meant for someone who's just starting their search and wants to learn more about purchasing real estate here in the Bay. The link is in the description below to check that out. But now let's get back to the video. They are hard at work. Things are happening. As you can see, there is a hill to take. Now, you don't have to go down that hill. With all these cars driving, you guys, I would not. I just would not. Well, actually, it doesn't look too bad from here, but no, from the bottom, it's super steep. But if you go the other way and walk to the viewpoint, it's just a very short hill. So a small price to pay for the most gorgeous views. Overall, I think this location is very unique. It is authentic Mexico. It is quiet. It is just a short walk to Centro, where we're going next. And here we are in Centro, and I'm just showing you from the main square where the development will be. Bucerías Centro never disappoints. There's always a party going on. There are always tourists, especially this time of year. There are lots and lots of snowbirds that love this part of Bucerías Centro. Known for beachfront restaurants. There are so many of them. We're gonna take you for lunch with us. I'm not sure where we're going today, but I'm going to share it with you. And yeah, the market, all the things, and all of this is just, I don't know, a 7-minute walk tops from the development. So super convenient. To me, this part of Bucerias is very busy. There are always cars, always tourists, always locals. It's just there's always things happening here. And for someone who enjoys that, that's great. Personally, I like peace and quiet. So if you're someone who enjoys peace and quiet, but you do want to go out for dinner and enjoy the beachfront restaurants or, the hustle and bustle of Bucerías Centro and Bucerías Golden Zone, Luke Development is a great option to check out because, again, it's so close. The breeze today is incredible, friends. We are in March, and usually at this time it starts to get hotter, but this year has been amazing. Nighttime is still like 13, 14 degrees, which is nice and crisp. And then during the day, we are at about 27 to 30 Celsius, and it's lovely. I'm loving it. This is my favorite time of year. I wish the weather would stay this way all year round. And then, there would be like thousands more people here, and the real estate here would probably be about 5 times the price. Time to get real, friends, about how I truly feel about Bucerias. And honestly, for me, it's a love-hate relationship. I love it for the beachfront restaurants, this gorgeous sound of waves. You can come at any point during the day for, breakfast, lunch, or dinner and truly enjoy the vibes. The hate is, well, there's two things. Thing number one is the traffic. It is always very busy. It's not just specific to Bucerias, but Bucerias is one of the areas that is most overgrown. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I'm trying to say is that there's just not enough parking spaces. There is a lot of one-way streets that are hard to avoid, all that kind of stuff. And number two is, I think, as someone who promotes real estate, that's probably not the best thing to say, but honestly, I think it's just overdeveloped. Everybody's fighting for that last piece of land and building up. And so all of the Golden Zone and all of Bucerías Centro, well, Centro is not quite there yet, but it's getting there. It's just all taller buildings. It's losing its charm. For those reasons, I don't love Bucerias, but there are many other reasons why I still believe it's a great investment. I do see the city is starting to address some of the issues with the infrastructure. So that's also great to see, because with development and more people coming into the area, those things will usually happen. And despite the comments that I get on the channel sometimes about misplacing the locals and how, development is bad for the economy or the town or the city, I strongly disagree with that. I believe that we always grow, expand, and if we don't grow and expand, we die essentially. And I do think that is very similar. That analogy would go for growth of the city, town, and so on. I guess if you're someone who really loves the Mexican charm and don't want to be around a lot of buildings, going to the east side of Bucerias is a really good choice, which is why I'm showing you some of the developments that are popping up at really good prices. But if you're someone who wants to be on a beachfront, Centro doesn't really have beachfront units, because most of the beachfront and Centro is actually restaurants. Like, it's federal zone. I may be wrong about that, but I'd say 75% sure I'm right. But in Golden Zone, you have a lot more options for beachfront and in Bucerias North. And actually, on my new channel, Luxury Living in Puerto Vallarta, I have shared one building that I love specifically for those who love beachfront. I'm going to insert it after my speech here, so you can check it out. There's actually really, really good prices in that building, and the units are very nice. If you want more information on the beachfront units in Bucerias or really anywhere in the Bay, feel free to send me an email at the email address provided in the description and here on the screen. And I'll be happy to share with you my favorite buildings, because trust me, they are not all done the same. Friends, for lunch, we went to check out Coco Beachy or Coco Bici. No, I think it's Coco Beachy. It is a new beach club restaurant that opened up a few months back. And actually, this is a beach club for the Risco development. We really loved it. Like, look at the grounds. It's very clean. It's very new. The beach is wonderful. The drinks were amazing. Staff were great. So if you're in town in Bucerías Centro, I highly recommend you check them out. The margaritas were amazing, and just the staff were really fun. They were dancing. I really loved it. Anyways, I highly recommend you check it out. Thank you so much for watching our video until the very end, and I'll see you in the next one.